What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO, give you a quick overview of some of the data points, key levels to watch for, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. NIO's down slightly, 0.2%, $5 the high, $4.91 the low. So it is starting to get dragged down with the broader market. And interestingly enough, the main reason why we are starting to push a little bit lower is because of two things. FOMC minutes did really signal that the Feds are still all over the place, not really consistent, and wanting a rate cut for at least the foreseeable future. And then the states just withdrew all of their individuals, kind of military and so forth, from Syria. And we generally know what that kind of means next. So at the end of the day, that's why a lot of the market is kind of pulling a little bit lower, and NIO through algorithmic trading is again similarly getting dragged down. We are seeing fairly low volume today, so 16.1 million shares being traded. Nothing really coming out from NIO itself, so no press releases, no SEC filings. I still do truly believe that they are going to be putting out the date of their earnings sometime this week, so they'll announce that, so that might be a pretty good catalyst. But aside from that, it's kind of a boring day. I know that kind of sounds bad, but today as well, there really hasn't been that much in macro data. So the next big one is going to be on March the 1st. And so at the same time of their monthly numbers, there was one thing that kind of came out. So there was a pretty big milestone that was hit yesterday, and it looks like the new record was beat as well today. Or I guess on February the 17th. So that's, again, a pretty good thing. But with Chinese New Year right around the corner, we've always seen NIO just go kind of radio silent. So, and usually that does extend for another about 2 or 3 days after. So don't anticipate any crazy, substantial, speculative news this week, aside from most likely them announcing the date of their earnings. Shorts honestly aren't really doing that much. They're increasing 178,000 shares. 7.07% of the free float is being shorted. Works to be 144.06 million shares overall being shorted. So still, even though net, they're not really doing that much, they still trade back and forth quite frequently, as you can kind of see even yesterday based on that blue line, and today seems to be a little bit more quiet, but they do make up for still anywhere from around 35 to like 55% of the daily volume. So they still are a kind of a big deal despite it being single digit at that 7.07%. There is more than 10 million shares available to be shorted on a side note. So if they really did feel that this was kind of the start of a major push lower, they could easily double and triple down, but they don't. So again, that's kind of inversely a positive. Looking at the options, 1.06 million in calls, 436,000 in puts. 43% of all the options being done are bullish in nature. From a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be above 5. So today we did reject that, so it bounced off of that $5 range. And so $5 has always been lately like a big deal. So I don't know, maybe shorts and just larger entities want to ensure that NIO stays below that to stay as a penny stock. So kind of crazy. I feel like that wouldn't be the line to like die on, if that makes sense. But bears are anticipating for it to be sub 450, or kind of more so between that 450 and 5. So definitely where we're at is a key pivot. As of today, no transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So institutions are kind of taking a step back. And then dark pool, you see a little bit of activity, a lot of hold numbers. So hedge funds are a little bit more active again today, but still overall today is kind of a boring day with it right now at 492. It is trading between this pivot and this S1. So 493. I know there's about like 20 minutes left in the trading day, so ideally it closes above that, so the 493, but still, even after that, it does really need to get above that $5 range. And unfortunately, if it still kind of stays within this range, as what we've seen in the past, then historically, we see some level of consolidation. So next strong support is going to be that 478. So in the next couple of trading days, it really needs to get above that 5, and better yet, that 508, which is that R1. If not, like I said, you might be seeing some level of consolidation. But on the actual chart itself, still doing fairly well. So it is above the 50 and 10-day moving averages. So as long as they can hold those, I think things could be okay, at least in the short term. So the 10-day moving average is 488, 50-day moving average is 486. So that's going to act as a pretty strong support level, but still the market needs a catalyst. And I think the market, especially the American side, was going to be really looking at the FOMC minutes as a glimmer of hope. Unfortunately, we didn't get that glimmer of hope. So most likely we could be getting some more fear in the market. But even during that time of fear, like NIO did hold up a lot better than the broader market. So something again to keep in mind, but there really hasn't been that much in news, no speculative topics. Still a couple articles comparing Rivian and NIO, which you shouldn't in general, but I think even if you do look at them just vaguely, it can really just signal how of a crazy discount NIO is trading at. But looking at this, there really hasn't been that much in analyst ratings. On a side note, from the market position, comparing yesterday to today, you see a little bit more willing buyers across the board. So that's, again, a good thing. So might add some pretty strong support levels. But at the same time, you see, at least below that 520, a lot more willing sellers. So all in all, NIO does need that nice gentle push to really kind of move higher in it. It doesn't take that much. Like NIO putting out, let's say, some new launches, and there is some things kind of in the works for Q2, as I've brought up in previous videos. So they just need that couple big milestones, and then you could see a test of that 200-day moving average, and then better yet, just from there, it could just go higher and higher. So let me know your thoughts on NIO. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Pop over, check that out. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.